Ready?
Yep.
All right. So describe for me what you're going to be showing me and why you like it. What are we doing?
Flagstaff 529 RLKS. Love the super light floor plan.
Hang on, let's
It's
start
a
it.
four
I'm
slide.
sorry. Hang on. You don't have to tell me what model it is. I promise I'll fix that. Just say,
Oh, okay.
let me tell you about this fifth wheel. It's one of my very favorites, and then you can just go into it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want me to just go ahead?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Oh, okay. I love this model because it checks all the boxes. On the interior, you've got a booth on one side and table and chairs on the other side. So if you like a table and chair or a booth, you get them both. Big pantry, seating for 8, 9 people easily. It's got a large entertainment center in the back. Everything that you want in a fifth wheel for entertaining or having people or just enjoying family time, this has it all.
Can you take me, Andre, kind of on a visual tour, if you will, what it looks like from the outside? Because the inside sounds great, and I know that it is, but what does it look like on the outside? I mean, describe it for me, and what is the significance of some of the features that you guys put into this fifth wheel?
Sure, we'll start at the front and a great fiberglass front cap. You can have that in either a white color or a champagne color. Both look fantastic this year. Then the turning pin box. It actually helps a 5-foot bed truck be able to turn in tight spaces. You can engage that, or you never have to engage that if it's not something you want to do. It's on every single model. It's not an option.
And is that, I don't want to interrupt, but that pin box is really important to talk about because many of the campgrounds have got tight places where you've got to make almost a 90-degree turn, and with that pin box that you've got, you're able to do that, where other ones, I'm not familiar, I don't think all of them will be able to provide you that opportunity to get into tight places like the one that you're putting on these Flagstaff Rockwoods.
That's correct. Very good point about, when you have a smaller truck bed, that pin box gives you an extra 22 inches of turning radius so you don't hit the cab of your truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the last segment we hit on make sure things are user-friendly, easy to use. This is one thing that keeps it really great, and it's on every model. You can get into tight spaces. You get backed up into a small parking lot. You can really turn it tight. And it's a great feature, and it's on every single one. So absolutely love that pin box.
So keep on going. Just and Shemaiah, we'll just cut this part out. So just keep on, walk down the deal, and just kind of take me on the tour.
Sure. Absolutely. Then underneath that pin box, you're going to have what I call wet storage, where a little bit of moisture can come up through because the legs go through it. But it's where you put your tools and things like that. Big storage area, easy to get to the batteries, easy to maintain. As you walk around the coach, you're going to find the sidewall looks really great and straight with an awesome, nice high gel coat finish sidewall that just looks fantastic with some different graphics on it that look really good. And then also you have a 18-foot awning, which is so great. It goes right to that very back slide. You can have a lot of people out in front of it, get a lot of shade from it. And then the MoRide step that we use, it has a shock. It's easy to lift. Anybody can lift it from 90 to 90.
And what's the big deal about MoRide, the steps, the stairs, if you will? Because I know, but I didn't used to know. And these are really cool to have as a standard piece of equipment on your RV.
They are very cool. And there's two really great reasons. Number one, they're all aluminum, so they're not going to rust like your old steps. I don't know if you had an RV. I had a 1985 motorhome where the steps rusted, and it was like throwing my back out every time you get them out. These are always inside the coach during travel. You bring them out, they're adjustable. All the weight goes on the ground as opposed to inside the unit. So let's say it's 5 a.m., you're having coffee. You don't want to wake anybody up. You don't want to rock and roll that unit. You can step right up those steps, and it takes almost all the weight and puts them right on the ground. And as I spoke earlier, they're so easy. It's got a shock absorber that helps you lower and bring down the stairs. So like I said, anybody from 9 years old to 90 years old can do it very, very easily without having to feel like they're going to come on top of them. And you can adjust the legs while they kind of hang in midair. It's almost like a suspension. The adjustments on the legs are really, really easy to do, whether you have the pins or the new upgraded little handles that you just flip the catches and you can pull them out and move them around. super great. Those steps are just they're head and shoulders above any other step out there on the market.
From a safety standpoint, they're fantastic. I think they'll last seemingly forever, but they're just safe, and that, we care about safety. So, in terms of the door, I understand that you guys have got a really cool the screen door as well as the actual door itself to the RV. Tell me about that.
The door, actually, yes, it has a what we call a security accordion unit inside the window that can go up and down. So if you want to keep it open to see whatever's happening on that side of your campground, you sure can. Or at night for your security, you can put it up, or for your own just being inside the camper without anybody to see in. It works very, very well. The door is also very wide, and the screen door has what we call a screen shot on it. It'll close automatically. So I don't know if you have kids. I do. The screen door felt like it was always open. This will close automatically every single time that you open the door, which is great. And one more thing is, like the little things we do is it's got a friction hinge door, which on a very windy day will keep that door from shutting. But if it's very, very windy, there's also a latch on it. So it will open and stay open for you no matter what. So you're giving not just one option, but both options on the door.
And what did you call that?
Convenience, safety.
What did you call that door? It's a what door?
A friction hinge door?
Friction hinge. Okay, because, when I'm in an RV, and I tell people you cannot treat an RV the same way you treat your doors at your house. You've got to be gentle. You start slamming stuff, and things can wear out. They can get loose. With this, with the door that you guys have, I see you slamming it. It's pretty cool, like you said. And even if the wind is blowing really hard, you can still latch it there on the outside to keep it from coming loose.
Absolutely, because sometimes Mother Nature gets really angry, and the wind kicks up pretty good. And the friction hinge, we want you to be able to close the door, so it can't be that much friction.
Yeah.
So there's a point of where the wind can take it and where it can't. So it's just one more thing that we try to make sure our customers can easily maneuver in any type of environmental situation.
All righty. And moving down the side, we've got...
Oh, yes, you're going to find out on the driver's door side, which is what we're walking down now. There's going to be a slide. This is a 4-slide model unit, and it's got laminated sides. It's a nice, comfortable slide. There's going to be windows for cross ventilation in each slide there, then a big window to see outside. You're going to walk around the back. It's going to have a fully walkable roof, which we always give you a ladder on all of our units. So you can get up there on a one-piece laminated roof, walk around, make sure the seals are good, or have a service tech do it, whatever you feel comfortable with, of course. And then there's a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back for accessories. That's just great for bike racks, different things that you might want to put back there. Maybe you haul a generator back there. It's just so optional with that 2-inch receiver. Does a lot of really great things. And then you're going to hit the back wall, which is obviously a laminated back wall, which is great because, it's not a hung back wall, and it can actually bring the trailer together in good angles and keep it stiff, so that way, on top of the best axles and tires in the business, you got the best box.
In terms of shoes, tires you've got on this RV, you've got some really good ones. Those Goodyear Endurance, and I would imagine that and the suspension, the aluminum box, as you call it, all that adds up to a safer ride, a smoother ride, and a longer lasting RV. Absolutely, longer lasting, and when you go on vacation, you don't want to be white-knuckling it anywhere. You don't want to go down the mountains and not have total and complete confidence in that torsion flex axle, that super great tire with the Goodyear on it, with the all-aluminum box that we provide, the laminated sidewalls, laminated back wall, laminated roof. Everything is laminated and aluminum, so people can drive with confidence. When you head into the mountains, you can just always take your time, but still you know that your camper is going to perform for a long time. What about the your slide system? It's a pinion, isn't it? You got the pinion, rack and pinion slide system?
That's correct. On all of our large slides, we're working with a rack and pinion slide system. We make sure that the motor's inside, never gets wet, doesn't get dusty and dirty, and those are the two biggest enemies. So the motor's underneath the coach, underneath the underbelly, which really, really helps our slide mechanism last for a very long time. Big, beefy motors, just a really great system we've been using for a long time. I wouldn't say it's perfected, but we don't have any slide problems like back in the day when we were just, getting them going and trying to get them to work properly, that time is past. Your slide's going to work all the time, and it's going to be very, very durable.
What about the underbelly? I've heard mention that the Rockwood Flagstaffs, these fifth wheels, all come with a heated underbelly. What is that? Is it true, first off, and what is it? What does that mean for me, the consumer?
That is correct. So what we're doing is we're putting some radiant heat in the underbelly. Also, with all of our super light fifth wheels in this model and most of our other fifth wheels and travel trailers, we are doing a standard tank heaters. So not only is the underbelly got some radiant heat going through it to make sure that the tanks stay nice and warm, but it also has tank heaters. So we're getting the best of both worlds. So if you do travel in a frozen climate at any time, you can turn on those tank heaters and know that there's some warm air going into the underbelly.
That's great to know. What about the roof? Go back to that. I know you said it's a one-piece roof. What is the significance of that, Andre, in terms of longevity, and walk me through how that roof is made, because I know that you've got a place in the plant it's just big, and you see how that laminated roof comes together in the machine. Describe that for me, if you would.
Laminated roof. So lamination is all stacking things on top of them and gluing them in the perfect area or situation so the glue cures perfectly. Moisture comes into it, heat comes into it, cold comes into it. So we have a computer that tells you exactly when it happens. So the roof is going to be domed on the interior and the exterior, and it's a special laminating machine, and not a lot of people have them because they're expensive. But we do enough units that we can warrant a laminated roof that's fully walkable. It's used block foam insulation on all your insulation needs in the very top. No batten insulation at all, no Pink Panther stuff. And it is one piece when it comes off. If you've been to the factory, and Alan, you have, you've seen us lift that roof by just one side by a couple of screws. Totally walkable. And what it does is it keeps that camper from moving left to right, going down the road, making sure that it's always stable and keeping those corners perfectly at great angles. That way when it's going on the road, it doesn't have any of this. It just goes straight down the road and lasts a very long time. Other roofs are built in 4-foot sections of like rafter styles, and those can move around on you after a while. You hit a big bump and one screw comes loose, or a piece of plywood wants to come up on one side or the other, because plywood doesn't come in a shape of an oval or a, it always wants to come up on you, and you'll never have that with one of our laminated roofs.
What about the floor plan? I want you to take me inside, but before you do, I'm looking at the floor plan of this 529 RLKS, and describe it for someone that's maybe just listening on the radio. It's just beautiful to me.
It is, and it's so user-friendly. And like I said, opening up with it checks so many great boxes. So when you come in the door, you're going to see on your left-hand side a booth seating, bar style, going what we call north to south, or the long way of the unit. And it's got seating for two there, and then it's got two great bar stools on the other side. So my wife likes booths. I like table and chairs. Best of both worlds. Bam, right there.
Yep.
And then on the right-hand side, you're going to start in your galley with your double sink, lots of cabinet space above the top. You're going to have your oven, and then your refrigerator and another slide just across from said table. And then a huge pantry with a big door. You walk in. I mean, you could feed a whole army out of that pantry, no problem. So if you're going to entertain for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you better have food for 10. So that pantry is going to accommodate all that great space. Then you walk into the main living area where the TV's on the back wall with a fireplace underneath it, beautiful fireplace. And then you'll have theater seating to your left. And then on both sides, opposing slides right beside the TV, you're going to have a hide-a-bed, a couch hide-a-bed. So
on
your
both
guests can sit
sides?
on that. On both sides, that's correct. And so they both come out to beds. I always said, like, if the shack needed a bed in an RV, here it would be, because it's a better part of 12 feet long almost.
Mm-hmm.
But grandkids, friends, whoever want to stay over, it also accommodates them for a nice sleeping area. And then you, like I said, you have the theater seats that gives you a great reclining option right there in front of the television. And then as you walk up past where we've already been, if you come in the door and go right, you go up the stairs into a big tub, a great bathroom. There's a slide in the bedroom for wardrobe, and we've extended that slide so half of it goes into the bathroom. So you
that's
have a great
great.
little linen closet.
Yeah.
We're trying to make the best of most spaces there, and you're always going to have plugs in accommodating areas by the bed stands on both sides. You're going to have a nice reading light in there, a very, very comfortable sleeping area. It's really a great fifth wheel.
The bathroom is incredibly big. I mean, that shower's giant.
Yes. There's been a call for some bigger showers, especially tall ones, and we don't usually have a problem with height in fifth wheels just because you have a little bit more height on that second deck to put a nice, tall, rounded, oblong shower in there in a great porcelain toilet in the sink. You're going to be showering in comfort and not just squeezed in there really tight.
All right, so if I'm sitting in the RV with you and you're giving me a demonstration, what are some of the things, now I'm not looking at the floor plan, I'm actually inside the RV, what are some of the things that you want me to realize, want me to understand that may not be so obvious to the untrained eye?
Sure, there's just some great little nuances about this RV. You're going to have a great big fridge, whether you get the 12-volt or the gas electric in that unit. There's some hidden hinges now. We just went to that August 3rd, where it just gives it a real residential feel. What other color you choose for your RV or that you're in, whether it be Sladewood or the Newport Ash, is going to really feel homey. There's just little things here and there, like the drawers, they self-close on you. Just really, really comfortable. The flooring looks great. It's scratch-resistant, scuff-resistant, stain-resistant. Wow, that's a tough one coming out all the way. So you don't have to worry about, somebody bringing in a little bit of mud or dropping a juice box or anything like that. You just plug outlets for everywhere. You can see your battery charge. It's a really easy convenience center. Just so many things that make it so user-friendly. And I think when you walk into a Rockwood Flagstaff, you don't notice that all the time. But then when you start to use it, a lot of people get back and like, hey, this is. I was over at my friend's camper and they didn't have this, or this was missing, and that was just standard on our camper. So a lot of little different things that we try to do just to make your camping experience the best humanly possible.
In terms of what's underneath that floor covering, tell me about the importance of that and what you do at Flagstaff Rockwood.
Yep, it's a residential floor build. It's a 5/8-inch piece of plywood that's tongue and groove, so you're never going to have any of those soft spots from left to right or going, side to side on your unit. The tongue and groove works really good. On top of an aluminum cage, on top of some batten insulation throughout the whole coach. So you have a layer of insulation. You have a layer of aluminum, which gives you all your strength, 16-inch on centers for your studs underneath there. Depending, there might be a little bit offset here or there just to accommodate some heating, ductwork, and things like that. And then you have your floor, which is not only glued, but it's screwed. And as any good carpenter will know, is the screw only holds the glue because that's the real adhesive to the floor. So again, when you're making this box, it's all part of a plan to keep this box as straight and as firm as humanly possible. And we're doing that by that 5/8-inch tongue and groove plywood.
In terms of the demographic that this RV is a best fit for, who would that be and why?
Great question. I think in the last segment we talked about flexibility. This is a really flexible RV. Whether you want, it seats 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 comfortably. Everybody with their own seat. It's not jamming 3 people onto a booth or anything. But if you entertain in your campground or you have a family that comes over, I've talked to numerous families where mom and dad or brother, sister have the big camper where they all congregate, and then maybe somebody else has the smaller camper where they go and, they don't make meals there. They sleep there and do their thing, and they go off on. But this one is where people can congregate and really enjoy. Maybe they're watching something on TV. Maybe there's a family party or a friend's party. But I think this hits a lot of demographics. I think even with the younger demographic, because, it's more social when we're 30 and 40 and 50 years old, and maybe not as much when we're 60. That's not true for everybody. But I think when somebody wants to have a centerpiece that everybody feels comfortable in, this is the camper for them.
What are the overall measurements, if you would, and we're going to wrap this up, but what kind of a truck do I need to tow it with, or tell me about that?
Okay, 9,600 pounds. Let me get up my stats.
So it's
here.
under 10,000 pounds, that's surprising. I mean, I thought it would be much heavier than that.
No, under 10,000 pounds. 36 feet long, 36.6. It's
So it'll go into most
camper.
campsites.
Yes, it'll go into most campsites. It's easy to pull. Like we talked about the turning hitch, you can get into a lot of tight squeezes and get out without being scathed and things like that. It's just a really nice camper.
All right, I think we got it. What do you think, Shemaiah? We're good? He's shaking his head and giving me the thumbs up. So, all right, Andre, thank you very much for.
Hey, I'm so sorry about this morning. I apologize.
You got a good excuse. I hope she feels better. Is she experiencing the tiredness as like you hear that people?
She's exhausted.
Is she really?
She hasn't got out of bed for 3 or 4